After nearly a year of silence, Lil Jeff's killer has finally spoken out, revealing what really happened that day and what the cameras missed.
I think that I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know? It's crazy, bro.
But here's what you probably didn't know. Someone tipped off Trap City Rob, and that heads up is the only reason. He stood on business that day, so who really backdoored Lil Jeff? Was it someone from the Bloodhound gang? And why did the rest just stand there, watching him get shot multiple times without ever firing back? All of those questions and more finally get answered in the killer's long I-did confession. Let's get into it. A shocking revelation and an unexpected turn of events. Lil Jeff's alleged killer, Trap City Rob, shared his point of view about what really went down. It appears that Lil Jeff left Trap City Rob with only one option: stand on business now. If you're not familiar with the backstory, let me bring you up to speed. On June 8th, 2024, Bloodhound Lil Jeff Q50 and one other dude were outstanding on business in surveillance footage that was later released. Lil Jeff and his squad were caught chasing down a rival gang member in the heart of Trap City in the footage. You see Lil Jeff and his homies hold up in a black SUV waiting for their target. As soon as the target was spotted, Lil Jeff got out of the car and started chasing him down while letting out shots, the target wearing bright yellow shorts quickly ducks for cover and immediately runs straight into the porch of the next building in front of him. He was hit once in the chest, but he kept running for his life. I knew the Bloodhounds were bloodthirsty when I saw Lil Jeff wearing a black Nike hoodie and gray Nike joggers chasing his target straight onto the porch for some reason. His homies did not go with him. They stood by their car while letting out shots at the car that dropped off the target. But this is where it gets interesting. The moment Lil Jeff approached the front porch, a dramatic turn of events. Unfolded bullets started popping out of the alley, and gunshots filled the air. Lil Jeff was right in the middle of danger, and his homies were too far away to help. They watched him get dropped by someone from inside the house. From another perspective, you could hear a barrage of bullets, and Lil Jeff's homies at the black SUV do not seem to be ducking or hiding from these bullets. I believe these bullets were being shot at Lil Jeff while he was on the ground. This means all his friends were watching him get stood over. They probably only fired a few pointless rounds towards the house. Seeing that Lil Jeff had already been hit multiple times, they turned around and ran back to the black SUV and waited for the opportunity to pick up his body. This point of view makes sense because the police marked a lot of shell casing next to the door, proving that Lil Jeff was stood over as soon as he got behind the big pillar. And again, the pillar in front of the porch was a perfect cover, making it impossible for Lil Jeff's homies to help him in the crossfire. However, it appears that the shooter jumped off the porch right after killing Lil Jeff and started buzzing his homies, chasing them back to the car. You can see the guy in the red jumpsuit, believed to be Q50, limping back to the car because he probably caught a bullet in his foot. A Reddit user confirmed that I noticed this when I first watched the video. They lowered their guns in distraught, like, damn, our big homie just got stood over in front of us, and then they snapped back into reality and start shooting at him. However, by that time it was too late. Lil Jeff was shot in the chest almost 19 times, and you could see him collapse at the end of the video. But it didn't end there. After the rounds of bullets on Lil Jeff, his homies cycled back and picked him up before the police arrived. They drove his lifeless body to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Another user said that matches up because they did say the guy was dropped off in a black SUV by his friends. I just looked up the address where the hit went down on Google Maps, and it all makes sense. You can spot the silver Jeep parked opposite the black SUV. It was probably the camera from this house that captured the incident. When you pan the map a little, you will get the perfect view of the black SUV that served as the getaway ride. Although Trap City Rob has been very low-key about the hit, maintaining a low profile and keeping it cool, he finally confessed. His confession not only revealed him as the shooter, but also gave another perspective of the operation, painting a perfect picture that the surveillance footage failed to capture. In an interview with Block to Block, Lil Jeff's killer confessed that he saw 6 people chasing down his homeboy.
Damn. Okay, so is there anything about that case you want to clear up and just touch about, bro? Because I see you got a whole different perspective.
Nothing bullshit. I see the videos. I see that shit. I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know? It's crazy, bro.
Now that's a whole different perspective. How did he know there were 6 people there? The viral video didn't show that many, and that might be where Trap City slipped up. Still, despite how smoothly the counterattack went, Rob didn't brag about it. He simply said he did what was necessary to protect his hood. That statement holds weight, especially after an old video resurfaced showing Trap City. Rob posted up on the front porch of the very building where Lil Jeff was killed, just chilling calmly watching his surroundings. One fan pointed out, "For real. This dude like some troll in a cave, you don't even know he's there till it's too late. This is his spot and he holds it down. It's no wonder people started calling." Rob, the Defensive Player of the Year, in his interview with Block to Block, Rob explained why he was always on the porch, saying he's deeply aware of his surroundings and always alert.
I'm conscious, bro. Like, I'm in my environment, but I understand the overall. You know what I'm saying?
This became even more evident during the same interview where Trap City Rob and his homies, Black and Terror, could be seen constantly scanning their surroundings, eyes shifting left and right, alert for any potential threat. It was a clear reminder. Chicago is not for beginners. Rob then offered a deeper look into his mindset, sharing his belief that drill rap is part of a larger scheme designed to pit black people against each other. According to him, the culture has become a trap, and many young black men have taken the bait, which is why they're so quick to turn on one another over the smallest slight.
Black man is very underdeveloped and undereducated in America, bro.
Ooh, not me?
No, just listen, bro. When it comes to emotional intelligence, reasoning and people getting shot over shoes and that's not being emotionally intelligent.
Trap City Rob's responses during the interview drew a wave of positive reactions from the hood. One user commented, "Rob is what you call a grown man," while another added, "These dudes are mature. Jeff was just a little immature kid running up on some udges." Jeff didn't think before he reacted. That's what separates a grown man from a little boy. "Oh geez, don't move the way Jeff did. Oh geez. Follow rules and live by a code." The interviewer then brought up a viral meme making rounds on Reddit where Rob's face is photoshopped onto Malcolm X's iconic photo captioned, "Protect the Trap." The post jokingly suggests that Rob should run for president, claiming he'd dominate in politics. Rob responded with a smirk, admitting he'd seen the meme, but made it clear he's not chasing internet clout.
I don't even like it, so I don't even know. Internet crazy, so.
Trap City Rob is no fool. He understands that boasting about the hit would only keep the cycle of violence alive. In a city where every loss demands retaliation, the beef has turned bloody with each hood, feeling obligated to slide for their fallen brothers. It's a never-ending war fueled by pride and pain. In an earlier interview that shed light on Lil Jeff's lifestyle, the young rapping hitman admitted he'd been in the streets since he turned 18, a chilling reminder of how early the street life grips those caught in its web.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
However, Bloodhound Lil Jeff revealed that, although he jumped off the porch relatively late compared to his peers, he was no stranger to the street because he had an older brother who plugged him in on the cruelty, violence, and lifestyle of the street.
But the shit I'm doing now is I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing.
In case you didn't know, Lil Jeff's older brother is J Bougie. Interestingly, the deadly feud between Drill City and Trap City, a war that claimed the lives of several young street soldiers, including Lil Jeff, actually traces back to older gangsters like J Bougie. What's especially notable is that J Boogie and Trap City Rob are from the same age group, and at one point they were on good terms. In a block-to-block interview on YouTube, Trap City Rob confirmed that the two hoods were once cool with each other. But things took a dark turn after a member of the Blood Hounds stole a chain from one of their homies, and from there the bond broke, and the streets haven't been the same since.
Fuck used to hang with them, they know what they did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a that was my homie.
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my home chain.
But if you look deeper, you'll realize there's more to the story than what Trap City Rob revealed about the origins of the beef. For Bloodhound Jeff, the feud ran much deeper. It truly began with the death of his cousin Zoni. Here's some background. Early in Lil Jeff's life, his older brother J Bougie caught a charge and was sent to prison. With J Bougie behind bars, Jeff's cousin Z Money, also known as Zoni, stepped in to guide him. Zoni wasn't just a big cousin. He played the role of an older brother helping Jeff with his street moves and quietly managing things from the shadows while pushing Jeff into the spotlight. But everything changed on March 16, 2023. That day marked one of the most devastating losses for the Bloodhounds and would permanently sever any remaining ties between Drill City and Trap City. According to reports, Zoni was sitting in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street near the 79th and Kimbark intersection in the Avalon Park neighborhood. Parked outside a dry cleaner, Zoni became the target of a drive-by. A vehicle pulled up and opened fire. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but sadly, he didn't make it. Zoni's death hit the Bloodhounds hard, but it crushed Lil Jeff. Zoni had been his protector ever since Djibouti went away. In honor of their fallen brother, Lil Jeff, and his right-hand man, Q50 got tattoos of Zoni's name inked on their skin just when things seemed like they might cool down. Rumors began to surface on Reddit. Whispers in the streets suggested that Zoni had been backdoored not by outsiders, but by old friends from Trap City. That rumor lit a fire in Lil Jeff. He couldn't rest. He wanted blood, and he had a target. Lil Pooh, a Trap City affiliate who had been sneak dissing Zoni in the streets. Pooh was moving around like nothing had happened, showing up in familiar spots, acting untouchable. But Jeff was patient. He watched, waited, and calculated. April 9th, 2023 became the day of reckoning. Lil Jeff and the Bloodhounds had made up their minds. Lil Pooh wouldn't live to see another summer. But Jeff didn't move recklessly. He didn't roll up and start spraying. Instead, he waited outside Lil Pooh's home, silent and still, like a watchdog. And when Pooh finally showed up to rest his head, Lil Jeff made sure it would be his last. According to the Chicago Police Department, at around 11:30 p.m., gunshots rang out on the 1800 block of 223rd Street. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered a male victim, later identified as Pierre Boozer Jr., unresponsive in the front yard of his home. He had been shot multiple times and was pronounced dead at the scene. No one in the neighborhood spoke to police about the hit, but the streets were already buzzing with names, and people knew who the likely suspects were. Not long after, Lil Jeff made it clear who he was targeting. In an unreleased diss track he took aim at Lil Pooh, subtly referencing the shooting. In the song, Jeff rapped Lil Pooh dissed Z. Now Lil Pooh gone, you know that never take too long. Laying in the grass until he come home, he ran. Word on the street was that Jeff chose not to officially release the track out of respect for one of his Flipside homies. However, when one of Lil Pooh's friends posted a tribute photo, Jeff responded directly. He dissed Z. It was a blunt message. Disrespecting Z Money would not be tolerated, but Jeff's retaliation didn't stop with avenging Zoni. Once he tasted blood, there was no going back. He continued hitting the streets, hunting down his rivals. One of the most notorious incidents linked to Lil Jeff was the double homicide of BKN members Lil Rob and Monty, a killing that was caught on camera. The tragedy occurred outside Innovations High School in downtown Chicago's Loop area around 12:30 p.m. Lil Rob and Monty had stepped out for lunch and were walking toward Washington Street and Wabash Avenue. Despite